Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever time you are watching this video. This is Mr. Pandy, coming to you guys with a video getting you guys prepared for the Module 5 assessment. Okay, so I'm gonna go through these particular problems here, and then hopefully you guys understand everything I'm talking about here. If you don't, you're more than welcome to ask your teacher, or you're more than welcome to stop, pause, practice, and then rewind, things that nature, anything that can help you out with getting prepared for this upcoming test. Okay. All right, so this test is on inequalities and also systems of inequalities. All right, so the first thing that we need to know is what is an inequality. All right, so the inequality are these particular symbols here. So you have a symbol that looks like this. Okay, and this symbol means less than or equal to. Okay, you have this other symbol here, which is the opposite of that, and this means greater than or equal to. All right, and then you have this symbol right here, which is it's the same thing as this symbol, but it doesn't have the line under it. So if it's the same thing as this one but without the line, then this one is just strictly less than. Okay. Now there's a difference between this and this. Like let's say I go to the mall and let's say, okay, cool, I really don't want to spend too much money, so I got $400. So I can spend $400, or I can spend less than $400. Okay, so that's the less than or equal to. So I can spend the 400 equal to it, or I can spend less than it. Okay, this one here says that I do not want to go. I want to be below 400. So you do not want to be at 400 at all. Like you could spend $399. You can spend $395. You can spend $399.99, but you do not, or you do not want to be at 400. Okay, so that's the difference. So this is just strictly less than, and then this one right here is going to be the same symbol as that one, but without the lines. This one to be strictly greater than. Okay, and the same type of logic applies. Greater than, strictly greater than. All right. Okay, so these are the particular type of symbols here. For this one, when we are graphing these with two variables, okay. Well, let's talk about one variable. With one variable, actually, I'm gonna make it like a little chart. One, and I'm gonna say two. So 1v and then 2v, right? So with one variable, for this one right here, this is a closed circle. This one's also a closed circle. Okay. If I'm saying less than, that means I'm going this way. Greater than, I'm going this way. Okay. Down here, this one is just strictly less than. That's an open circle, and that's going this way. Greater than, open circle going this way. Okay. Now, two variables. Okay, so two variables are a little bit different. Okay, so two variables with the less than or equal to and the greater than or equal to, these are going to be solid lines. Okay, so I'm going to say solid lines here and another solid line this way. Okay. If it's less than, it's going to be shaded below. If it's greater than, it's going to be shaded above. Okay. Kind of zoom in right here for you guys. There you go. Now for this one down here, this is just going to be strictly less than, so you're going to be a dashed line. And the same thing for this one, dashed line as well. Alright, so greater than is going to be everything on top of this dashed line. Less than is going to be everything below this dashed line. Okay, so that's how we do that. Alright, so that's where you guys can understand that. And if you need to stop, pause, and write this down, then that's fine. Okay. Okay. Let's look at question number 1. It says, what is the solution to the inequality below? Okay. So you have this inequality here. You treat it as if you're solving an equation. Okay. You only got one variable that you're solving for, which is x. Okay. So we're gonna I'm gonna draw my little line down here, and I'm gonna multiply this. Okay. So I'm gonna distribute the -3 to the x and to the +5. So this becomes a -3x minus 15. Okay, and then it's less than 12. All right. Now these two right here, these two terms are not the same, so I cannot combine these at all. Okay, so when I go across over here, where I have this one, This one looks similar to the negative 15, so I'm going to bring that one over here. So the opposite of negative 15 is a positive 15. So plus 15, plus 15, okay? So this cancels. I'm still going to bring down to negative 3x. Less than, and then now I have 12 plus 15 is going to be 27, okay? Now I have negative 3x is less than 27. I'm going to write this over here because I got more room, okay? So negative 3x is less than 27, okay? Same thing. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to divide both sides, okay? But here's the thing, is that whenever you are multiplying or dividing by a negative, you want to go ahead on and flip the inequality when you're doing that particular action, okay? So this is going to be divided by negative 3, this is going to be divided by negative 3, and then now I'm going to flip this inequality this way now, okay? So now negative divided by negative, that cancels out, the 3's cancel out, so now you just have the x greater than, and then 27 divided by negative 3 is going to be a negative 9. Okay. So that's what we have there. Now remember, now we have to graph it. Okay, we have to graph it. Okay. Well, you may not need to graph this one. This doesn't say to graph it, but if you wanted to graph it on a number line, like let's say you have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Using our chart here, we have one variable. Okay. So, and our inequality did not have a line under it, so we're down here with the open circles, okay? So this one was greater than, so we're going to go this way, okay? So we're going to put an open circle at negative 9. Oh, snap, this is the opposite. Oh. Negative 9, I'm sorry, my fault. So this should be a negative 10, oh, no, negative 10. This should be a negative 11, negative 10, negative 9, negative 8, negative 7. And since it's greater than, we're going to have an open circle here going this way. But again, you may not need to graph this one, okay? All right, let's go down to number 2. Abraham has visited 5 countries already. He has a goal of visiting at least 50 countries. He plans to achieve this goal by visiting 10 countries per year, which is why, for the next several years. Sorry about that. That's the alarm to switch the topic for today. That's all. Anyway.
Interruption, teachers. At this time, that bell signal is your reminder that you should be switching to your resiliency lesson. Please see your email this morning from Dr. Pierre for further instructions. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Anyway. So Abraham has, let me start this over. So we're looking at question number 2. Abraham has visited 5 countries already. He has a goal of visiting at least 50 countries. He plans to achieve this goal by visiting 10 new countries per year, which is represented by Y, for the next several years. Then it says answer the following questions. So A is write an inequality which represents the number of years that it would take for Abraham to meet his goal as described above. So the first thing we're going to do is we want to go ahead and write this inequality. All right. So let me read this one more time. So Abraham has visited 5 countries, so that's important. So he's already visited 5 countries. He has a goal of visiting at least 50 countries. So at least 50. That means that he wants to visit 50 countries or more. Okay. So the least is 50. Therefore, I want to visit 51 countries, 52, 60. I don't want 50 to be the max. Okay. I want 50 to be the least. That's the minimum. All right. So I want to be greater than 50 countries. Okay. So I visited 5. I want to be greater than 50. Okay. And then it says he plans to achieve this goal by visiting 10 new countries per year. Now I tell my students, anytime you see the word per, every, or each, that's where your variable is going to be at. Okay. And they give it to us right here. The variable is going to be Y. So this is how we write this inequality. Okay. So you can say you can start off with saying 5 because you already visited 5 countries. Plus the 10 countries you're going to visit per year, which represents Y, has to be greater than or equal to 50, because I want to visit 50 countries or more than that. Okay, so you can write it that way, or another way you can write it is you could just say, okay, you have 10Y plus 5 is greater than or equal to 50. Either way, it's the same way. Okay, either way, it's the same way. So I like the first way though, so I'm going to leave it at that. All right. So now it says part B says graph the solution which represents the inequality. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and solve for this so we can go ahead and graph it. Okay, so here I have my line right here. Okay, these two terms, again, they are not the same because one has a letter, one doesn't. Okay, over here the 50 is the same as the 5, so I'm going to minus the 5 and put it over here. Okay, so it's going to be minus 5, okay. So no, that cancels, and then you will still have a 10y, and then 50 minus 5 is going to be 45. Okay. I'm going to write the rest of it over here. So we have 10y is greater than or equal to 45. Okay. Now I'm going to divide. Now I'm going to divide again, just like I did before in question number 1. But this time I'm going to keep my inequality the same way. Can anybody tell me the reason why? Correct, because you're not dividing by a negative. Okay, so this is going to be y is greater than or equal to. Now if I did 45 divided by 10, this is going to be 4.5. Okay, 4.5. So what does this mean? This means that I want to visit 4.5 countries per year. Now, can you visit half of a country? Not necessarily. Okay. But we're going to go ahead and graph this solution on this inequality, and this is what it means here. So 4.5 is in between 4 and 5. So let's put a circle here. Now, do we keep this circle open or do we close it? Okay. Well, the thing is that we have our symbol is this, which is the greater than or equal to. Okay. One variable is going to be in closed circle and going to go to the right. Okay. Closed circle and going to go to the right. Hold on for a moment. Use this one. So we're going to go ahead and close this one in. And then we're going to go to the right. Okay. All right. Questions at all? Questions? Nope. Next one says, how long will it take Abraham to meet this goal? How long will it take him to meet this goal? So, oh no, I'm sorry, not 4.5 countries. This represents years. So it'll take him 4.5 years to reach this goal. Okay. So 4.5 means the years is going to be greater than or equal to 4.5. So how long will it take him? It'll take him 4.5 years. You can write it like that. You could say 4 years and 6 months, because 6 months is half of a year. Okay. However you want to say it. Okay. Or you could say, yeah, I would just leave it at 4.5 years or 4 years and 6 months. Either way. All right. All right, let's keep moving along. So we got 3. A ball bearing, as shown in an airplane, must satisfy the inequality, which is this right here that we have, where D is the diameter of the ball bearing in millimeters. Complete the sentences. The solution set of the compound inequality is, and then B, the solution set to the inequality represented graphically in an image is blank. Okay, so basically we have this particular compound inequality here, and we're going to have to solve for it first. So that's going to be the solution set. Okay, so we have 8.46 is less than or equal to 2D. Okay, and D stands for the diameter. Okay, minus 1 is less than or equal to 8.48. Okay, so with the compound inequality, you treat it the same like you do a non-compound inequality. So we're going to write a line here and here. You just take care of everything from the middle to the outsides. Okay, so here we have a 2D minus 1. Okay, the first thing I need to get rid of is the negative 1. So the opposite of a negative 1 is a positive 1. Okay, so I'm going to say plus 1 here. Now when I add this 1 here, where else do I add it at? Well, of course I add it to over here, so this will be a plus 1 here. But I also add it over here as well, so we see a plus 1 here. And make sure you put that 1 up under the 8, okay? Because you're not, it's in the ones place, so you're not adding as a decimal part, okay? So in that particular case, this is going to be 9.46 is less than or equal to 2D. The ones cancel. It's less than or equal to 9.48. 8. Okay. Now the next thing you're going to do here is that you're going to just divide everything by 2. Okay. 2, divide that by 2. Okay. So that will cancel. All right. And when we do 9.46 divided by 2, we get 4. I'm gonna write the solution set down here. It's going to be 4.73. Okay. Okay. Less than or equal to the letter D. Less than or equal to 4.74. Okay. So what this means with the context of the problem here is that the diameter for the ball bearing has to be between 4.73 millimeters and 4.74 millimeters. That's what we mean. Okay. So therefore, when we draw this down here, okay, you can pick any random spot you want. Let's say this is 4.73, and let's say over here is 4.74. Okay. And since you need to be in between these right here, okay, let's go ahead and look at our inequalities. We're going to have a circle here and a circle here. We will close these circles in because we have a line under both of them. That is important because sometimes they'll trick you up and they may put a line and then the other one don't have a line, but both of these have a line under it. So we close it in and then we just go right here in between the two. Okay. Alrighty, let's keep moving along. Alright, so now we're doing the 2 variable inequalities now, okay? So this is going back to what we learned about in chapters 3 and 4 as well. Alright. So here it says a bakery sells 2 types of wedding cakes, okay? I'm sorry, no, question number 4, right up here. I'm sorry, missed this one. Alright, so they say given this, write the inequality which represents in the given graph. Alright. So you have a line here, alright. Let's go ahead and just write this in slope-intercept form. Now, if you forgot what it is, remember you're going to write it as y equals mx plus b. Remember, the m is the slope, and the letter b represents the y-intercept here. Okay. So let's take a moment. Let's look at what is our y-intercept here. So our y-intercept is right here, and that looks like it is at -3. Okay. Yep. Okay. So b is -3. Now let's start from there and let's go to another point. Let's pick this. Got to pick a good point. This point here seems to be a really good point here. Okay. So going from this point to this point, I need to go up. So I'm going to have a positive slope because I have. If you see, you're traveling up a hill as you go to the right. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, and then to the right 1. So my rise was 2. Okay. 2, and my run was 1. Okay. Now, can I simplify that? Yes, I can, because 2 divided by 1 is just going to be 2. Okay. So my m is 2. So now I have y, okay, 2x minus 3. All right. So that's what the equation would be if I was just doing just the line itself. Okay. However, I have an inequality because I have a shaded region. So first thing I need to realize that does the line stay solid? So the line does stay solid here. So this is a solid line. And the shaded region is everything that is at the line and below. Okay, it's at the line and below. So if I'm at the line and below, okay, then which particular inequality shall I be? Okay, so am I less than or am I greater than? Okay, well, less than means that you are at the line and below. So that's what we're going to use. So this inequality here is y is less than or equal to 2x minus 3. Okay. And that's your answer. Just that simple. All right. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's go to number 5. All right. So number 5 says a bakery sells 2 types of wedding cakes. A cake with fruit filling costs $130. A plain cake costs $95. The inequality describes the relationship between the number of fruit-filled cakes, x, and the number of plain cakes, y. a bakery must sell to reach the goal of $4,100 or $4,100. So they give us this inequality right here, and then they say they want us to graph the representation to this inequality in the context of the situation described above. So remember back in chapter 4 when we talked about different formations of linear equations. You have the formation of slope-intercept form, the formation of point-slope form, and the formation of standard form. Okay, this formation here is written in point-slope form. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to see, can I plot this using this particular thing? Well, I'm looking at the graph first off, and I'm noticing here that my scale is going by tens. Okay, my scale is going by tens, so I necessarily can't plot anything with a negative 3 over 4 and with the negative 16, 16 and negative 18 here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this from point slope to slope intercept to see if I can graph it a little bit better. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute this negative 3 over 4 into the quantity here. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we take the calculator, okay, and remember, if you need to type a fraction, remember you're going to do 3 ABC4, and then since it's negative, we make it negative. Okay, all right. Now when we do that times x, it's just going to be x. Okay, but I want to see what it's going to be when I multiply it towards 16. So that times 16, and the 16 is negative, it's going to be 12. Okay, so here I'm going to have y minus 18 is greater than or equal to negative 3 over 4x plus 12. Okay. All right. Now, I'm still not in slope intercept form yet because I need to get the y completely by itself. So I got to move this 18 over here to this side. Okay. I can't move it with the x because they're not the same terms, but I can move it over here with the 12. So I'm just going to add 18 to both sides, so that cancels it out there, and then add it here. Okay, so now when I rewrite it one more time, okay, this is going to be y is greater than or equal to negative 3 over 4x, and then 12 and 18 is going to make 30. Okay, so I can use that. I'm good with that now. Okay, so I'm going to, my y-intercept here, my b is 30, so I'm going to plot 30 first. So I'm here, right here, 30. Cool. Now, my slope is negative 3 over 4. Now, it's pretty hard to kind of go down 3 and over 4 here because your scaling is not good. But what I can do is I can make an equivalent fraction with negative 3 over 4 by tens, because I know that everything going by tens. Okay, so negative 3 over 4, if I multiply both of these by 10, that's the same thing as saying negative 30 over 40. Okay, so from this point I'm going to go down 30 and then to the right 40. Okay, so I'm going to go down, so this is 10, 20, 30, and then to the right 40. So 10, 20, 30, 40. Boom, it's right here. Okay, all right, so that's what I have here. Okay, so I use that there. Now my inequality, it is greater than or equal to. So I do have a solid line here. Okay, so let me get a ruler. Graph. Okay, so this ruler is going to go here, here. So it's a solid line right there. Okay, all right, and it is greater than or equal to, so I need to shade. So if I'm greater than or equal to, that means I need to shade at the top. So it's going to be everything to the top of this line. Okay, everything at the top, everything here at the top. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so let's keep moving along. Okay. So this one, this number 6, says a group of high school students are selling Thin Mints and lemon cakes to raise money for their basketball team. The goal is to raise no more than $1,300. Each box of Thin Mints costs $3, and each box of lemon cakes costs $4. Okay. The graph below shows a solution set where X is the number of boxes of Thin Mints and Y is the number of boxes of lemon cakes. So they gave us a situation. They already gave us a graph for it already, so we're good. So we don't need the graph. Let's see what we've got to do. So part A says write the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, of the inequality that represents to the graph. And then part B says write the standard form, ax plus by equals c, of the inequality from the answer to part A. Okay, so this is pretty much cool. Okay, so let's look at it. All right. So looking at the graph here, looks like we started here at 325. So that's a good starting point there. So that's our B. Okay. So remember, when you write things in y equals mx plus b form, you have y equals mx plus b. We know that b in this case is going to be 325. Okay. Now we need to select another good point. Okay, so what's another good point here? Okay, so another good point would probably be this point right here. Okay, because you want to catch at a good corner, and that's a good corner right there. All right. So that means that I went from 325 down to 250. So I went down. Okay. So let's see. So that's going to be my rise. Okay. That's my change in y. So that's my rise. So I went from 325 down to 250. So I'm going to do 250 minus 325. It's going to be negative 75. Okay. All right. So that's negative 75. Okay. Now I need to see how far to the right did I go. Okay. So that means I went from, which is 0, which is x, all the way over to 100, which is y. That would be negative 75 over 100. Okay. Now you got to reduce this down. Okay. You got to simplify this if you can. Okay. Now if you don't know how to, you have your handy dandy calculator here. Okay. So you can press the negative 75 ABC 100. Okay. 75 negative ABC 100, and then press equals, and it reduces this down for you. So it's negative 3 over 4. Or if you just think about it like with quarters or whatnot, same thing, negative 3 over 4, right? So this is your m. So your y equals mx plus b for the inequality now. So we have y equals negative 3 over 4x plus 325. Now, this inequality, it has a solid line, and the shaded region is below it. Solid line, shaded region is below. So solid line, shaded region is below. That goes with the less than or equal to. Okay. So we're going to say y is less than or equal to negative 3 over 4x, and then plus 325. Okay. All right. Now, part B says write the standard form of the inequality from your answer from part A. Standard form is pretty easy because all you got to do is read what you have up here. Okay. So you got Thin Mints, just 3. Each boxes of lemon cakes is 4. So we just let's make sure we know which variable goes with. So where x is the number of Thin Mints and y is the number of box of lemon cakes. Okay. So we got $3 Thin Mints, which is x. Okay. So it's gonna be 3x plus the lemon cake. So that's gonna be 4y. And the goal is to raise no more than $1,300. Okay. So we don't want to go over that. So we want to be less than or equal to 1,300. That's it. Okay. So both of these equations are the exact same line that we have here. Okay. One is just in standard form, the other one's in slope intercept form. All right. Okay, let's keep moving along. All right. So we have question number 7 here. Okay. Question 7. It says, are these points included in the solution set to the system of inequalities? Now the solution set is going to be the set where the graphs are overlapping. Okay, so we have this line here, and then we have this line here, And if you look at it from this standpoint, it's the darkest shaded area, okay, which is everything over here in this particular area right here. So not this area, not this little small area, but everything that's up in here, okay? So 7, 2, okay, 7, 2, 7, 2, let's see, 7, 2. So starting over here, this is 0, okay, this is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up 1, 2. 7, 2 is right here. This one is included, okay? 9, 1, okay? That was 7, here's 9, here's 1 here. 9, 1 would be not included. I'll put that one in red. Okay, so 9, 1 is here, so that one's not included. 3, 3. Let's see. Start at 0. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's right here. Not included as well. 2, negative 4. Okay, so going over 1, 2 down 1, 2, 3, 4. Not included as well. Okay. Negative 1, 0. So going over negative 1, staying there at 0. Not included as well. Okay. 1, 6. So going over 1 and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one is included. So we will circle that one. 10, 5. So go start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely included. So that one is included as well. Okay. All right. That was easy. That should be the easy one y'all should get. Y'all should, if you know how to plot a point, you'll know which one's going to be the correct ones. Okay? All right. So now looking at number 8, it says graph the system of inequalities here. So we would have y is greater than negative 5 over 2 plus 1. Okay. So looking at this right here, can't hardly see it. Lines are kind of difficult, but we're going to start at plus 1, okay, because here's 4, here's 3, here's 2, here's 1. So I'm going to start here at 1, and then we're going to go down 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over 2. Again, it's kind of hard to see, so it'll be like 1, 2. Okay. I want to take my ruler there. Where's my ruler that I just had? Yep, right here. I'm going to take my ruler right here. Now, this inequality does not have a line under it, so I'm going to make a dashed line, okay? So I'm going to go like this, tick, 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 tick. Okay, that's my dashed line there. All right. Now, the other one starts at positive 2. Okay, so this is 1, this is 2, and then it goes up 3 and then over 2. So up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2. So this one goes from here to here. That one is a solid line, so we draw that one there. Okay. Now, this first one says less than, so that's everything that's to the bottom this way. The other one says greater than, so that's everything that is this way. So the region that they share is this particular region right in here. This is everything that's over here. That's the solution region right there that they share. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to allow you guys to do number 9. I'm going to help you guys out. Just rewrite it into slope intercept form. Then you should graph it, okay? So this first one with the 3x minus 2y is greater than 6. I'm going to minus 3x from both sides. And then divide everything by negative 2. Now when I do that, I got to flip this inequality. So that has to go this way. So So that's it's going to be y is less than, negative over negative is a positive, so it'd be 3 over 2, x, and then this is going to be a negative 3, okay? And then over here, 2x plus y is less than or equal to 4. Just minus the 2x from both sides. So you're going to have y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 4. And remember, we don't flip the inequality because we did not divide any negatives over here, okay? So I'll leave you guys to graph these two, and then you should be able to shade in from there, all right? Lastly, question 10, the two variable linear inequality that represents the relationship between x and y as shown in the graph can be written as y blank mx plus b. Complete the sentences, okay? So here's our particular line right here. Shaded region is below it. Looks like it is a solid line, so looks like it should be less than or equal to. So the words that replaces the question mark is going to be less than or equal to. So I'm going to say less than or equal to, okay? Then it says the value of m is blank, the value of b is blank, okay? So b looks like it's going to be, look at that, that's at 4. So I'm going to put 4 here. M, let's see, if I went from 4 down to, what's this, 8? So I'll go down 2, 4, over 2, 4, 6, 8. So that'll be a 4 over 8 negative, because it's going down, and then that's going to be a negative 1/2. Okay. Lastly, a farmer has a field of 50 acres in which he wants to plant wheat and corn. Each acre of wheat requires 4 bags of fertilizer, and each acre of corn requires 5 bags. The farmer has a maximum of 210 bags of fertilizer. Let x represent the acres of wheat and y represent the acres of corn. Write two inequalities in standard form that can be used to form a system that determines how 50 acres could be split between the corn and the wheat. All right, so you just got to write the inequalities themselves. So you got a farmer has 50 acres in which he wants to plant wheat and corn. Okay, so we know that that's going to be x and y. Okay, so wheat and corn. So x is the acres in wheat, y is the acres in corn. So x plus y. Okay, that is going to be okay. So a farmer has a field of 50 acres in which he wants to plant wheat and corn. Again, we want to write the two inequalities that can be used to represent this. Okay. So he has 50 acres of land. That's all he has. Okay. He cannot get no more than that. All right. So that one is going to be less than or equal to 50. Okay. And then lastly, it says here, the other thing is talking about the bags of fertilizer. Okay. So each wheat requires 4 bags of fertilizer, and each acre of corn requires 5 bags of fertilizer, and he has a maximum of 210 bags of fertilizer. Okay. So you're going to have 4x for the bags of wheat plus 5y for the bags of corn, and that's the maximum is 210, so you can't go over that, so it has to be less than or equal to 210. Those are our two inequalities right there. Okay, and that is it, okay, for this particular review. Hope you guys learned a lot from this one, and I'll see you all later. Good luck.